The road to wealth in commercial real estate doesn't end when you acquire property. That's really just the beginning. Much more important is your exit strategy, because if you don't start with the end in mind, you're undoubtedly setting yourself up for failure. In today's video, I'll show you the different exit strategies for commercial real estate investments so that you can start off on the right foot. So first, let's talk about buy and hold. By definition, what that means is that you're planning to purchase the property, you're going to buy it and then hold it for somewhat of an indefinite period of time. Now, again, typically for people that are in a buy and hold strategy, it is a longer term strategy. We're going to hold the property for maybe a 10-year target, could be longer than that. Now, again, there can be a benefit to that. Now, if you're holding it for 10 years, you'd definitely want to be looking at a newer asset, because when you're buying, call it say a 1980s apartment complex, you're going to have more items that need maintenance over that period of time. So again, a lot of times if you're looking for that to say, hey, we're going to hold this property for the next 10 years or 15 years, then you want to look at a more newer vintage, because then you're going to have less repairs and maintenance. Now, there is no real right or wrong strategy for every investor, right? You have a whole multitude of different investment approaches by different investors because they're seeking different returns. So the buy and hold strategy oftentimes is more of a reduced return. It has more, stability, if you will, to it. It's more of a coupon clipping mechanism where you're getting kind of a real estate bond that's performing and providing this, consistent cash flow over that period of time. Even too, you have some people, individuals or institutions that buy and hold with an infinite timeline, really, that they're saying, okay, we're planning to buy this property and never sell it. Now, with that being said, they also are factoring in, after a 10 or 15 year period, there is capital requirements that are necessary to continue to upgrade the property or keep it at obsolescence. So next, let's talk about value add. By definition, what that is you're buying a property with a specific intent to be able to increase the value by adding capital to it and making improvements to the property. Now, we have a heavy focus on value add apartment complexes because you're able to significantly drive and increase the value. And an example of that would be, you have a property that's built in, say, 1985. It's almost 40 years old in terms of the interiors. We're able to go in and for anywhere from $6,000 to $9,000 per door, upgrade the interiors, new cabinet doors, new flooring, two-tone paint, really make it look like it's built in the 2000s. And so now with that, maybe the rents were $900. Now you're able to bring those rents to a more market rent of, call it $1,150 or $1,200. And as a result of that, you've increased your NOI. Some of the other videos we've talked about that and what that does to increase your value. But so by doing that, your typical value add strategy is where we're increasing the value of the property and then we're selling the property to capture that value in a specific timeline. And the reason for that is in that first year to 2 years where you've renovated, improved, added amenities, done those things to the project, and then brought rents from that $900 to $1,200, you've substantially increased the value of the property. And that's where, by selling it at that point, you've captured the maximum return. Next is your refinance and recapitalization. With that, the project is being bought, and let's say that it's a value add project. The value is done over that 2 to 3 year period. And then the intent and the plan is to refinance the property into a permanent type debt that then enables you to hold the property for a period of time, or maybe an indefinite period of time, depending on what the game plan is for the investor. Recapitalization is where, in again, similar manner that you've gone in, you've executed the value add of the project in the property, and then you get to this point here where that value creation is done, you're recapitalizing, bringing in new investors into the project, and the existing investors are paid off with their rates of returns based on their expected timeline. And then with that, the new investors are in the property, and it's going to be held for a specified period of time, whether it's a longer term buy and hold or whether it's another set stabilized 5 years. That would be defined by the project based on the year of the project, the marketplace, and those conditions at the time. So one of the exit strategies is also to bring in additional investors, or the partial sale, if you will. And what that is where, the project has gone through a certain period of time, and then there's an intent to bring in additional investors through the partial sale of the property or the sale of those equity interests. Because again, you may have where investors want to stay longer in the project to continue to earn returns, and there are other investors where they would be interested to recapitalize their money in the profits at that time. Lastly, we have the 1031 exchange. Now, what that is where the property is being sold, and then instead of those monies coming back to you, they go to a third-party intermediary, an exchange company. They receive those funds from the closing of the sale, and then those monies are then reinvested into the next project. So that money goes from the project to the third-party intermediary, like title company, if you will, kind of thing, and then it goes to the next investment. Now, the benefit of that is that you then have the tax benefits of not having to incorporate that gain as a gain that you experience. That money goes into the next project. So now that's a great way that we've seen for our investors also to participate through our enterprise program, is what it's called, that they're able to invest, experience the benefits of the depreciation that they get by investing in the real estate. They get the gains on the cash flow that they receive. And then at the end, when the property's sold, that money is then 1031 exchanged out. So fantastic way to be able to handle larger scale chunks of capital and avoid, or not have to in that moment, pay the federal tax because it's done through the 1031 exchange. So these are all different approaches with which you are able to have an exit from the property. Now, and again, I think, as I said in the very beginning, it's important when you're buying a property to understand what is the intention, have that exit already planned. And I look at, our company and our investors that have been investing with us, some for 5, 10, 15, even 20 years. They've had the benefit and the value of, because our firm, is in a consistent acquisition mode, buying properties, managing properties, selling properties. We've been able to go from one property, that property sells, the investor can turn around and reinvest that money into the next project. And that's provided for a consistent return on their capital so that it's not sitting idle during that time, and it's maximizing the benefits. So I want to encourage you to have that same kind of thinking and thought process related to your investing. That's all I have for you today. If you're interested in investing in multifamily real estate with me, click the link in the description of this video to join our investor club and get early access to off-market multifamily investment opportunities. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel for more content on real estate investing. See you in the next video.